Chris Rodriguez is a husband, a father of 6, a Marine combat vet, a small business owner, a farmer, and a realtor, and still is found time to throw his hat in the ring to run for city council for Oceanside.
A farmer, a realtor, and a family man.
And a family man, a business owner, a farmer, a realtor walk into a bar.
Yeah, and I was going to say.
And it's all Mr. Rodriguez.
And it's just Chris.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's an honor to be on here.
Oh, no, it's an honor to have you on, I'm telling you. But I will have to say this, it is a little prestigious because we don't just bring anybody on. We vet the you-know-what out of people before we bring them on because it seems to be that once people come on our show, they become extremely successful. We really want to thank Michael Schwartz for this. I mean, he works very, very hard at not only the San Diego County gun owners, but also supporting this radio show. And to have you on is not only an honor for us, but it's going to be, I'm sure, an honor for the public as well.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you again for this opportunity.
So we know, Chris, that you're a great Second Amendment guy, and we know that you're running for office for the city of Oceanside. So I wanted to talk about you, and I wanted to talk about what made you decide. What was the real catalyst? Like, what was tell us the conversation you had in your head that made you say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to run for office.
Like as if you didn't have enough on your plate.
Yeah, it honestly took me by surprise. I had, just moved on a new business venture, and I was made aware of a recent initiative that a landowner was trying to move on that pretty much took land rights away from farmers. And so I started looking into it a little more, and I said, you've got to be kidding me. This is unacceptable. And pretty recently, the city of Oceanside moved on to a districting election. So there's 4 districts in Oceanside, and District 1 and 2 are going up this year in 2018. I live in District 2. There's no incumbent. There's this crazy ballot initiative going through. I said, I have to get involved. I can't sit here for another 4 years and let this happen. And so first thing I did is I talked to my wife after I came to that conclusion. And
smart man. And
after about a month of working out the pros and the cons and the boundaries and a plan, she gave me her blessing. And so I move full speed ahead.
But that a lot of us see things happening. We see ballot initiatives, and we see city councils do things that frustrate us, and a lot of us, get frustrated and mad and all this other stuff. But most of us, just go on with their regular lives. I mean, you have a lot on your plate. How did it affect you though? Like the things that were happening, what was the impact on you that made you decide, hey, you know what, I got to get involved?
That's a really good question. I've always been really involved in the city of Oceanside, the community, with the Oceanside Chamber of Commerce as a board member and on the executive committee, and, with the Boys and Girls Club, with, the school district. And there's only so much you can get done from those community, public servant positions. And seeing what happens at City Hall and seeing what, comes in front of us on a regular basis, I really had to ask myself, is there something I can, be committed to that my wife and family can support? And once I had that blessing, I just knew right away and confidently I'm pursuing this city council seat to make real change here in Oceanside for our city, for my children who I want them to live here. I want them to work here and for their future.
Well, and I think a lot of that, thank you for the leadership. And I think a lot of that leadership probably comes from your time in the Marine Corps. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. When people ask me, what's your education? I tell them, San Diego MCRD is my where I graduated
your
from.
Alma mater?
His alma mater, yeah.
What made you go into the Marine Corps?
So my father was a Marine. It was right after 9/11. I was working 2 jobs, graduated a year and a half early. I was a young father, and I said, I want to be a Marine. I don't want to just sit back here with everything going on. And I was 17. Parents had to sign off on it, swore in,
wow,
and went to boot camp in 2002.
You say you didn't want to sit here. Where's here? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from Chicago.
From Chicago, nice.
And so, city boy, yeah, and came out here and fell in love with Oceanside and beautiful Southern California.
So you're from Chicago. Now that explains why you're a farmer. I know there's a lot of agriculture, and I'm just kidding. How did you?
I was going to say, where's this agriculture?
How did a city boy from Chicago get into farming?
Well, let's find out what he's farming. What are you farming?
Yeah, so I farm commercial avocados, guava, passion fruit, which we do sales all over the U.S. And about 3 years ago, we planted over 1,000 coffee trees, which is a new crop here for Southern California that is proving to be very successful. 3 years ago, it was a high-risk crop. Now it's a exciting crop that is coming out. Yeah, we produce great wine. Let's produce great coffee.
Wow. And what led you to that? How'd you get into farming? Tell us that story.
Yeah, so Marine Corps, did 2 tours in Iraq.
Chris, you cut out a little bit. You said you did 2 tours in Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes, so my first tour was all the way to Baghdad. Second tour was in Fallujah.
Wow.
I got injured in Fallujah, got out shortly after that, honorably discharged, and I got into gardening and working in my backyard, and that through success of real estate, which is what I got into right when I got out, I was able to buy a farm about 5 years ago. I know nothing about farming. Thank God for YouTube. Otherwise, I would not know what I was doing, and just learned as I went and figured it out, and I love it. If I could be doing farming full time, I would. I absolutely love it. My kids love it, and just to give them that life of hard work and seeing the fruit of the ground and how all that works. And, they really see that money does grow on trees with, being on the farm. And so it's awesome. I absolutely love it.
So you're running for Oceanside City Council. Tell gun owners why. Tell them, what do you want gun owners to know about your, beginning your political career? What would you like them to walk away from this interview remembering about you?
Number one, I'm a Marine. I'm a patriot. I 110% support the Second Amendment, and that's just a part of who I am. And one thing, if I've learned anything in getting into politics, is you can't change who you are and what you believe in and what your convictions are. And so I'm going to be bringing that with me along the way in running and, God willing, getting elected and bringing that as a leader in our city and having that understanding and fighting for that right.
Great. Okay, Chris Rodriguez, Oceanside City Council. Tell them what how do people get a hold of you? What's the best website for you?
Yeah, Oceanside Matters. Get involved. So the URL is oceansidematters.com, and you can check out all the events, what we have going on, forums. You can donate, and get a hold of me on there.
Well, thank you so much for running, and thank you for your leadership, and thank you for standing up for the Second Amendment. I really appreciate it, Chris.
And by the way, you're invited to the gun prom.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. They got the greatest MC on the planet.
So later this month, we're going to release our voter guide, and we're going to have a lot of endorsed fantastic candidates on city councils, school boards, all across the county. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
And he'll be on it.
We'll see. I have a good feeling, though.
All right, very good. All right.
Without someone doing something about it, it's not going to get any better.